The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed on this show are not to be presented as facts or an indicting nature to any party, viewing, or mention. We hope you're entertained. Thanks for watching.
Look at you. You heard your voice and shit? You on mute.
That was lame.
That's cool. We official.
I'll send you an invoice for my disclaimer.
Man. You can add it to the list of shit that you ain't did all month.
That I haven't done that I haven't gotten paid for doing.
You ain't the shit that you ain't did this month. So I guess you
I've
can
done
add that to your hours.
everything and more above some.
Hmm?
I didn't come on this live to argue with you.
Here you go. Every time the point is made, you want to talk about how you triggered or how you you don't need this in your life.
No,
It's crazy.
I'm just here to do a specific job, and I know how to do my job. So happy Wednesday, everybody. How you doing? Welcome back, episode 21. God is good all the time.
God is good. God is great. Thank you for this platform. And thanks for everybody that made it. That's what's up, man. Episode 21, we back. Got a great show for y'all today. Who tuning in? Who tuning in? Let's bring our special guest host up. Mark, come on, man.
Mark, brother. Yeah, shorty.
We got to get Mark here on screen real quick. Wait, don't get Mark. There you go. There you go.
What up, what up, what
Oh,
up?
what's the word, man? How y'all doing, man? Good to see y'all again, man.
Good to see
Blessed.
you, man. We need more Mark on the show in 2024, man. All right, we need more of you on the show in 2024.
Oh,
So
okay,
before
okay.
we start, man, I want to just ask everybody how was their weekend? Well, how their week so far? Like what y'all been up to?
Bree, go
I'll be
first.
so, if I remember correctly, I worked. Super Bowl was last weekend. So yeah, I spent some time with my friends. My best friend had a housewarming Super Bowl party, so I went over there and kicked it with her boyfriend, and her family. So yeah, I had like a cool little weekend.
I was kicking. That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
I still ain't got my plate. That's crazy. I still ain't got my plate, but it's cool.
You was blocked.
I know how that be. I know how that be.
She definitely did block me though.
Know how
Mark,
that
how was your weekend?
Man, it was cool. We just watched the Super Bowl most of the week, cook chopped cheese sandwiches and all that, you know what I'm saying? And other than that, the past few days, just been working. I shot my first baby shower, you know what I'm saying? And
Okay, shout out to that.
yeah, yeah, man. It was dope shit over at Baseline, and man, other than that, just been interviewing, working, and got a lot of shit on the way, man. I went to the Kanye show too a while back. I don't know if y'all talked about that already.
I
Both.
saw your article on it. Good
I
stuff.
appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah, check out my article on the Kanye show with Rolling Stone, man. You know what I mean? That show was it was controversial. It was a lot going on. It was a lot going on. But that Super Bowl, man,
One of the greatest games. One of the great.
Mahomes.
My homeboy held it down.
Mahomes, that's all I could say, man.
He got.
Mahomes, they won the Super Bowl, man.
Shout out to Shariah though, homegirl Shariah from the crib. Her fiance, her baby daddy, he caught the game winning touchdown, McCole Hartman. So shout out to Shariah, good friend of the show, good friend of the platform.
I love that for them.
Uh,
I swear, if the 49ers put up such a great game, man, like they had came through with just some fire defense, but it's like what I saw last night was like you couldn't even fathom that. Like that's some shit you just had to see. Mahomes is somebody you just got to see. I don't even watch football like that to be honest with you. I just came to see Usher. But that game was just so good.
Me
Like
too.
I just stayed watching. You know what I'm saying? It's like Mahomes is just what can you do against that man? What can you do?
hmm.
Who can? You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel that, and on another show we can deep dive into sports because on this broadcast they not really familiar. They don't really talk sports like how we talk, Mark. So no, but
I
we
agree
did
with you.
we did You
Bree
did
knows
mention.
sports. Bree be at the WNBA games and the Bulls games and all that.
I be there to look. I be there because I get invited and because I
Don't
love my
do
city.
not, let's
She know
not
who
bring
Kobe
up
White
Bree
is.
the WNBA. Okay.
I'm there to
Uh,
support anyway.
but as we discussed, you mentioned Usher. You know what I mean? Usher had an amazing Super Bowl halftime show.
Yeah.
It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? He brought out Lil Jon. He brought out Ludacris. You know what I'm saying? Herb was on the guitar.
That was
He had the noops up there hitting that.
Don't forget Jackson State. He had the blue and white flash up there. You know what
He
I'm
had, you know what I'm
saying?
saying?
That's my
Jackson
alma
State
mater, the
had the
great
Sonic Boom out there.
HBCU world. You know what I'm saying?
It was a dope. How y'all feel about the show? Bree, how you feel about the show? I feel that's all the women cared about on Sunday was the Usher
That
concert.
was exactly all I cared about. I
Wasn't
enjoyed it.
just the women.
And I even went back and looked at like other Super Bowl performances from like the past like 5, 6 years, and Usher topped it like for sure. Usher did what he had to do, especially when he brought out the roller skates. He brought out the pole dances. I enjoyed it. I felt like I was at the Super Bowl.
Which
Only
one,
person that beat me was Jermaine Dupri for the Sox.
Bree? Which one you think was better? Because both of them, like we had like two big Atlanta themed Super Bowls over the past couple years. Now, which one you think was better, the Usher one or Big Boy one? When he brought out like Goody Mob and all them. Adam Levine was there.
I just think Usher just gave me more of like culture and variety because he not only brought like Atlanta to the Super Bowl, but he brought Vegas to the Super Bowl. He brought the 2010s to the Super Bowl. Like he brought out people that we wouldn't even expect, like her playing the guitar. She didn't have to
Yeah,
sing. You
I ain't
feel
even
me?
seen
Why
her
you
play.
look like that, Cody?
I was trying to see where the whole Vegas part come in at, but I'm gonna let you continue.
You didn't.
I just saw the noops. I was like, when I saw that, I'm like, the greatest fraternity in
Oh,
the
that
world.
is. So you
They
completely
hit that.
disregard everything else that happened.
They
That
hit them
It
shoulders.
started out in Vegas.
They hit the shoulders on TV. You seen them? They melted. They hit that shit. They say, I'm like, noops.
that was
Please,
cold. I ain't
not
gonna
too
lie. That
much.
shit.
Did
You know what I'm
you
saying?
start shooting me with it when you saw me?
Yeah, I was in the crib hitting that shit like. You see them shoulders. I don't even do it. But when I saw the noose do it, I was like,
Okay, that's enough. Can we talk about?
Look at Cody having flashbacks and shit.
Well,
it
what
was a good show. But
want to shimmy?
let's get into some controversial. It was
I know.
it was controversy with
I know about the damn
Alicia
hug.
Keys.
Y'all making too much out of that damn hug. That was just a congratulation hug. I'm pretty sure Cody gave Bree a couple of them hugs before, after a
ah,
big
that
win.
that's
After
gay.
That
a big win.
never stood behind me. That is gay.
That
Okay,
is
I don't
gay.
cancel
Wait,
me
that's
for
get
it.
you.
It's gay.
You don't hug your Cody. You don't hug your Bree. Y'all don't bestie hug like that. You know what
Not
I mean?
from the
Because
back
y'all
like that.
be doing
Cody
this
don't be
big friendship.
smiling.
Cody, you ain't
He
hug
don't
Bree
be
like
like
that when
this.
you got her WBI job.
Me and Bria hug like that, or I give her a dap. That's like little bro. I wouldn't hug. Ugh,
But
that's
You
gay.
can say
that's a.
little
But you
don't
especially
try
man.
to mix gender me. I don't like that.
That's gay.
But that's a victory hug, man. You know what I mean?
But I
Like
wouldn't even
No,
hug my.
that's
I wouldn't even hug my sister like that though. That's a real intimate ass hug.
that was a my boo hug.
Yeah, that was definitely a
could
marble
they
hug.
get a song called My Boo? It's entertainment.
I get
Yeah.
it. It was
Let's
fun.
see the hug. Hey, y'all at home in the comments, y'all judge on the hug. Let's see the hug.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't never get behind.
See? Yeah, if I was Swiss Beats I would have had to shoot him.
I'm
But,
sure there's
but
something
hold
like
on, that I understand where you're coming from, but that's an exception because didn't she already steal him from somebody in the first place?
that has nothing to do with Usher hugging this lady at the Super Bowl.
But
Please
that
stop
don't
bringing
count
that up.
though. That don't count though.
Stop bringing that up.
That
Has
don't
that Alicia
count.
Keys is a
She
righteous.
stole that. She stole that innocent man from somebody. Of course, they going. You know what I'm saying? That don't count.
Hold on. So what you said is, because I'm not trying,
Nothing.
I don't want to be messy or none of this. So what you said is that this is just like what they call it, like karma. It's karma.
I mean, it ain't so much as karma because I don't think it's that deep. I think it's just entertainment. But the thing about it is,
The
I was going
embarrassment.
to talk about that, and she stole from that man. She stole that man from somebody.
Hearing both sides of the story and just as a spectator, just watching and just hearing both sides of the story, I don't think she stole him. It was more so like Swiss was on his way out the door anyway. Even though
Mm-hmm.
they were still like I guess legally married, but they were separated. Like Swiss was on his way out the door anyway, and once the divorce happened, him and Alicia started doing their thing, or they started talking to each other while he was separated. So you ain't still. It was just like, yo, he wasn't trying to work that shit out with you, and he just started.
No, but that's a
She
different
just
kind of
waited
stealing.
her turn.
That's still a different kind of stealing, though. It ain't. It's just not wholesale stealing. It's
A
more so
different
that
kind of
kind of stealing.
stealing.
It's that
Ain't
kind of
no levels
stealing.
to stealing.
But look, it's levels to it. It's wholesale stealing, and then you steal the other kind of stealing where you stealing little bitty pieces at a time. Like say, Cody, you go in Bree refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? She got some food over there, whatever. You ain't gonna take all the Chinese food. You gonna might get you a little nibble. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get your nibble at a time, and then you know what I'm saying.
I
Eventually,
don't like the way you say
by the
that.
time she realizes it, it's gone within the next over a period of time. You're stealing and you influencing it away over a period of time rather than you outright stealing.
I
So it's like
I
when Bree,
like
it's like when
you
Bree
know
come over here and take all my coolers and my energy drinks one at a time. And then when I look in the refrigerator one time, they be like, "Damn, I ain't got no more energy drinks." Or all my simply.
And you don't notice it the first
Yeah.
time. That's why she can steal it. You don't notice it the
Like,
that's
first
not
time.
stealing though. Stop telling my business first off, but that's not
yo, I be like, damn, I ain't even got. I be going to the refrigerator like, no, all my energy be right. And then
if you're my friend and you're my friend and you have a refrigerator, I have a refrigerator. That's my refrigerator is your refrigerator. Mine is yours is mine. Period. So why y'all trying to put me in the same category as Alicia Keys? Nah. I
I was
told
really
you that
trying to put Cody in the same
I
category.
feel that man.
Hey, look, I just feel like when Switch came out and made his statement and said it was entertainment, I felt him on it. I do feel that it was. I do feel the embarrassment was warranted. Like you weren't gonna get. There's nowhere. I won't say it's warranted, but there was nowhere around to get that embarrassment. Like I don't care if it was entertainment. I don't care if it was a show. Like on that big of a stage, your wife getting hugged up like that. Like you was
And
gonna get.
then
You
and then
was
the
gonna
other
Y'all
get.
make
thing
it seem like people do not act like people that are married are professional actors and they have to kiss and fake have sex and fake be in a relationship and a marriage with other actors. Like, why is this even? It's just performance art. Why is this such a big deal? Y'all want to
right.
make it such a
Because
big
Right.
deal
And then
because
it's
y'all
the,
feel like
it's
it's
the
a big
culture. I
deal.
get it. It's the culture. I get it, but
look,
it's the
and
culture.
then
But at the
to
same
piggyback,
time, I couldn't be mellow. And Lala got her titties and booty cheeks out on Power every other week. Then she on BMF with her titties and her booty out.
It's
I could.
acting.
That couldn't be me. But I get the acting. It just couldn't
and
be
then
me.
one other thing though, and to piggyback on what Bree talking about, going back to the residency, he was doing that with every woman. You know what I mean? Like he
Okay,
was
so she
doing that
shouldn't
with a
even
lot of
feel
people.
special.
He,
If we want
yeah,
to be
he,
honest,
yeah, that's how he
Yeah,
was
but
doing.
he did her on the Super Bowl though. That's different.
why ain't nobody else said Usher was a hoe? Y'all keep coming from Alicia Keys. When we don't see Usher grope up all these women over the past 6 to 8 months, ain't not one person say that he was on that stage acting like a hoe.
I'm not even gonna comment on what they said about Usher because at the end of the day, Usher cool with me in my book. But there's so many things they said about Usher why a lot of people feel like this don't even count. So we gonna move right along.
Y'all crazy.
We gonna move right along, and we speaking of Super Bowl. We just gonna speak about Kanye in general, right? You know what I'm saying? So Kanye spent $7 million on a Super Bowl commercial, and and his commercial was his on the iPhone. I feel like that was like one of the most genius commercials ever. Sending
So, okay.
like sending people to Yeezy.com. I actually went to Yeezy.com and bought me some pods for $20. I just had to. So we got the
Yeah, I think that that little brief commercial. I think that's going to be a new wave of advertisement. You know what I mean? I think that's going to be like a whole new wave of people doing that because you also saw Mark Zuckerberg do that with that new VR thing he's got. When he did like a little thing like that on his couch with his VR thing, talking about Apple comparing his Quest 3 to
Mm.
Apple's joint. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's going to be a new way for a lot of people to do. You know what I mean? Those kind of like quick viral, say your product, what it is, get it out. I think that's going to be a
I
wave.
mean, people been doing it for years. They just never thought, hey, let me pay $7 million and put it on a platform as big as the Super Bowl. I just like how he recorded it like he had something better to do, and he like rushed through it and just got off the phone.
And then people gonna eat up, and then you know how Chicago is. People gonna eat up whatever Kanye do. He could shit right now, and people gonna eat it off the ground. You know what I'm saying?
That's disgusting. But
People
Kanye,
will. I don't
But
know. I can't speak for
you know,
everybody from Chicago, but there's people out there that will do that. Yeah.
if people, let me tell you something. If people are willing to spend fucking $450 to $500 on a listening event, people will eat Kanye shit off the ground.
your analogy is very shit
uh,
on the ground is crazy.
I know what I'm talking about too. But it's
But
like,
you know what you know. I'm with you
yeah,
when you say
yeah. When you really think
I
about it,
can't. I don't even know how to compare that man. Mark, you was something else, G.
cause you know what it is. It's like, when I was there, I asked a couple fans, how why you think people still support Kanye even after the Hitler comments and the anti-Semitism comments and stuff like that. And it's just like basically the reaction of it. Yeah, it's wrong, but it's Kanye. People it's like people find any and every other reason to block out or just jump over his behavior or even some of his bars as of late, you know what I mean, with the new joint. You know what I mean? Like people just jump over head over first to see a version of Kanye like that really don't exist no more. You know what I'm
but
saying?
Kanye do give a lot of people hope, especially I feel like people from Chicago.
He has. He's our Michael Jordan. In a lot of ways. You know what I mean? Like I wrote, like he's our Michael Jordan. Like he's kind of like our generation and the younger generation. You know what I mean? Like all of our Michael Jordan. So it makes sense why we feel that way. I just wish that we weren't afraid to be a little bit more critical
Yeah.
about how, yeah, about whether it may be his art or how he give it up in Chicago or certain types of, you know what I mean, certain types of ism and just let him, you know what I'm saying, walk free. Although, and I still love Ye. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I hate Ye. I don't hate Ye at all or anything like that. I love Ye. I still love College Dropout. Hell, I still like Donda. I think Donda is a classic album, if you ask me.
That's the down of the day.
You know,
Um,
but I think just the thing that kind of just throws it off for me sometimes is he's a man of contradictions. You know what I mean? We can all agree on that, right? He talks. I think sometimes he talks from both sides of his mouth. Like he'll say he just spent the whole thing talking bad about gangster rappers, talking bad about rappers that make violent content, and say you're gonna make secular music, and you just made this gospel album, and then you made Donda with no cursing, turn around and make something that's completely opposite all the things that you was talking about with more raunchier lyrics than certain drill rappers. So how you gonna talk about this one thing, and then all of a sudden promote something else that's equally just as contradictory?
so I'm gonna give you pushback on that, right? So I agree with you 100%, right? I agree with you. He definitely is. It definitely is contradicting, but I do feel like what Ye is doing. I feel like what Ye is doing. I think he's an artist, right? So
Right.
when you look at your artist, you look at your artist for art. So when he's curating in the mood that how he feels at that present time. So when you
Okay,
got
I get that vibe from there. Yeah.
yeah, so when you got somebody like him that his mind is always everywhere, and the only thing he can do is either do clothes or do music. That's how he releases his first what's in his head is close and do music. I feel like this is how he feel right now. Like you can just tell just how he's moving. Like he feels like this right now. So that's what you're getting in the music. You could tell when he was releasing Donda, it was a whole different type of feeling with him. You know what I mean? Like even with the Sunday service and stuff like that, like he was in a whole different place. So I think the best way to understand Kanye, and nothing he said, like I don't think the best way to understand Kanye, if you really wanted to get a clear cut of what the message or how he's feeling, is whatever album he drops at that point in time, because he's gonna put all his thoughts on how he feel about anything, his emotions into that particular album, and that's why none of his bodies of work outside of, to be honest, only his only albums that sound the same, that has the same sound to them, to me, is the first three.
Mm-hmm.
Everything after those is just is real. Like it's not. Those was like conscious with with a message, right? Everything after that was really just, to me, was just emotions, raw emotions and music.
I wouldn't say as far as even conscious and anything, but I do agree with you as far as what you're talking about as where he's at in the state of mind now. You know, those first three was also pretty much heavy Rockefeller type shit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of, I would even go as far as to say a lot of his first three, even content wise, is a more dimmed down version of what we're seeing now, as far as the materialism, the lust, and all that stuff, but much more subdued versions of that compared to where we at right now. And I do agree with you that, you know, I think this album is the basis of where we at. But the problem comes in is number one, how do we go? There's never no insight into how do we go from here to here. You know what I'm saying? That's one. And then number two, some of that stuff though is still kind of like, even though, you know, I don't really hear a whole lot of Hitler talk on this album and stuff like that, like some of that stuff is still kind of like you in your own world with this one. And it's still kind of just still contradictory to what you talking about.
It's
I
music, bro.
personally feel like we analyze Kanye a little too deep these days. Why can't he just be a man that got access to one too many hundreds of thousands of resources in the world and just do
Right,
what he
I agree.
do? He having fun. He gets to wake up every day. I gotta get up and go to work. Y'all gotta get
Because
up and go to work.
because
He gets
because
to get up and do whatever he chooses to do. He gets to
right.
pick a girl, marry her, and let her walk around naked and make cream of wheats in the kitchen with tortilla chip on. Why? Because he wants to. He gets to do that. Let's just accept that Kanye is that one man in the world that can do whatever he wants to do.
Right, and that's the thing about, and there's the thing about
Y'all over
it.
analyzing this
I feel
man.
like
I'm
that. I feel
uh,
like that. I feel like that's
why?
what's called being free, though. Like that. I
Let
think.
him be free.
I think what you seeing with Ye just at its in, like, even like you feel like, what's the word? You feel entitled to tell about the transition, and you want more insight of what's going on. That's not our.
And I'm
That's not, we know, we don't. That's him. Why we feel like we deserve that? Like, okay, we a fan of him. We
because
only
right,
thing
but
we need to
I'm
only thing we need to worry about the music. As long as he making the slaps and the clothes, all the other shit.
I'm gonna get to why. I'm gonna get to why. I'm gonna get to the why part. That's a very important point. It what makes him different in this circumstances because Kanye is just not any artist. Kanye, what Kanye says and what Kanye does impacts culture, impacts people, impacts it influences people in a unique way compared to like the things he does and the things he say have real world impact and consequences compared to every other artist. That's why you analyze him the way you do compared to most artists because and this is true about you all Chicago artists uniquely.
I do that.
Now, but hold on, no. I'm not saying where I'm going with this one. Let me follow me. There's no such thing as separating the art from the artist when it comes to all Chicago rappers, uniquely so, because Chicago art is us. Chicago art is the living embodiment of who we are and where we're at given the time. Historically, given every Chicago artist, be it Common, Kanye, Lupe, Lil Durk, whatever it may be. You know what I mean? So all our artists is true to us. And like I said with Kanye, unlike any other artist, Kanye moves even to this day at 45, 40, whoever it may be. People do what that man says. Look at his fans on Twitter. You know what I mean? People move, people do what that man say at any given moment. You know what I'm saying? He got whole college courses around him and everything like that thing say right there. You know what I mean? So that's why you analyze him the way he do, and that's why you gotta hold some of his shit accountable compared to other people. Because like I said, his words and actions do hold power.
I will give you that, right? I give you that. I give you that. And the other side of that coin is that at one point in time is that this is he. When are you gonna learn? The people have to learn to think for themselves, right?
Okay.
So you holding him to this light, and he's just really just a confident being. Ever since we know him, a confident being that spoke his truth to life. Everything he
Right,
wanted to do into accomplishment, he's doing that. So
right,
if he's showing you that, and he's just putting what's in his head on paper, putting his head into clothing, putting his head what's in his head into music, you know what I mean? Doing what that like that's what he's doing. He's not
right,
telling you. He's not telling you to be like me.
right.
Like he's not and that's the difference between I would say somebody like Hove, right?
Mhm.
Hove is like, yo, this is the blueprint to how to do what I do, right?
Right,
Ye has never told nobody, like, yo, do what I do. He's never sit there and told you, like, do what I do. This is how I want y'all to act. This is how I want y'all to be. You give him a mic, he just speaks what's in his head. He having a conversation with you. He's just telling you how he view shit, right? But he's never telling y'all to follow me and do this.
right,
You know what I'm saying?
right,
People, you choose to
Oh,
follow.
right.
You truly you choose to follow him, but he's just doing him. He's a free man, just doing what he feel like is in his head again is out there. You know what I'm saying?
right,
He's an example of, and I think we are, and it goes back to the statement that he just is going to transition to the statement that he just posted about the war over there between Palestine and Israel. Is like how you say the responsibility that he had, right? That he has in that platform that he had. You see, noted, and this was the first time I ever really seen Kanye do this. Like, I'm pretty sure he has more information. I'm pretty sure he has an opinion on something. Because sometimes he just speaks out of feelings with no facts. He just off his opinion that how he feels. That
right,
was the first time I ever seen him curve some shit. Like that was I've never seen media train Kanye. It's either I'm gonna be an asshole or I'm gonna just go on a rant. Like he literally just told them like, yo, I have no information about that. Don't ask me about that. You know what I'm saying? Ask me if you want to talk to me about something. Talk to me about the kids that's being killed in my city every week. I know something about that. Use my platform to speak on that. And I've been seeing a lot of backlash from that. And and when I saw that clip, I was like, this was a dope clip because at the end of the day, it's like you're putting y'all was ready to make him go viral on a situation that as an entertainer, I get that y'all have this some type of platform and y'all want me to do something, but y'all didn't hold Drake to that same standard. Y'all not holding y'all politicians to the same standard. So why is we holding our entertainers to that same standard? I hear so many times I
Drake
hear
don't talk to nobody.
huh? But Drake, it's a whole nother thing with the Drake shit. But they was people came out and said that like Drake, you're probably the biggest Jewish star in the world.
right.
Like, how come you haven't said anything about this situation?
And same with Khaled. People ask DJ Khaled about that.
Same
He
thing,
said,
like y'all.
Palestinian. You know.
But when Kanye curves it, they ready to, you know what I'm saying, to get on his case. But it also brings back to me when I was saying like what I was getting at was that damn, I just had it. We don't the same level that we want to hold Kanye, Drake, or DJ Khaled to. I want our people. I just want people, just not even our people, just people in America and the people in this community. Like, yo, y'all don't hold y'all politicians, y'all aldermen, and y'all congressmen to that same standard.
Now I agree that part I do agree with you. I do think that people put in whether it be Sexy Red, Lil Durk, or whoever.
Well,
I do think that people put way too much own entertain, and that doesn't mean I don't feel like. And this is everybody, even me, even you. Everybody got a responsibility with their platform. However, you know what I'm saying? People put too much on to these people as if they the ones responsible. But it's like there's people who have been hired and been elected to make shit better.
To handle
But
these
it's
issues.
And there's an election coming
like
up too, actually. You know, and
as people that work in media and work for different platforms, like is that partially our fault because a lot of the times we post what when our entertainers or our actors and musicians have a comment on something that's going on in the community, have a comment on something that's going on within hip hop, within or without the culture in politics or whatever. And we are the ones that amplifies it. We're the ones that blow it up.
not really because y'all ain't doing nothing but y'all job. If they say something, then people want to know about it.
But
Y'all
that's still us.
only if you only the only time it's media fault, in my opinion, is if you're promoting misinformation. If you promoting something that's not true, or if you're promoting something that may cause harm,
But
that's
I
when.
feel like it's the betterment of our culture is to know that if an entertainer is speaking on something that's going on in politics or chooses not to speak on something that's going on in politics, and we are the ones that amplifying that, knowing that it probably won't help the culture. It's just us pushing something out there that can just get a couple views and get a couple clicks and let other people see it because it is Drake or Sexy Red or somebody saying something. Like if it's not necessarily helping the culture, I ain't gonna say it's harming it either. But if it's not helping it, we are adding to that.
Yes and no, because we have a job in entertainment. We have a job. Let's think about first thing you said job, right? So it's our job, right? So when you have a job, your goal is to build a ecosystem so you can live off this, right? So I feel if these clicks and these views and these comments and this interaction and this engagement is gonna help fuel your ecosystem, and like Mark said, if you're not putting out bad information, or you don't, if you're not causing any harm, well, you're just playing you're just doing your job. I think as the individual, it's our job to make sure that we understand that what we're watching is only entertainment, and we want real change. We need to go a step further and go challenge ourselves to learn about people in our community that can actually make changes. Like when they say, "Oh man, these kids they listen to this rap music, this gangster music, all sexy red," but it's like, yo, as the parent, why are you allowing your kids to watch that shit? So
That's how I feel.
you
Like,
blaming sexy red. You trying to take money out of her pocket and her food. All she's doing, this is her authentic self. This is her life. This is what she just, because art imitates reality in most times, right?
yeah,
So
exactly.
this is her reality. Like this is sexy red's reality. All she did is put it on wax, make some money, feed her kids, and changing her life. You mad at her, but you ain't taking the phone from your kid. You let your kid play Rich Baby Daddy. That was the Rich Baby Daddy at the little baby shower. You let your kid do that and recorded it. That wasn't on Sexy Red. When you
Yeah,
go to the,
I feel like that's a cop out when people blame. You know what I mean? Like, I think. Don't get me wrong. I do think Sexy Red could put out a few more, like, inspirational type joints.
No,
But but
do
at the end of the day,
Sexy
like,
Red being inspirational is
yo,
crazy.
like at the end of the day, it ain't the rapper's responsibility to raise your children.
It's not. It's
it's
You
not
entertainment.
know,
it's not Kanye's responsibility to raise your kids. It's not Jay-Z. It's not Beyonce. It's not your like those are not their responsibility to
but
do.
with Kanye though, I will say this though: with Kanye, what makes him uniquely different in this situation is because you're invoking language that activates an entire base of white supremacists. You know what I'm saying? Like
But I also feel like, in a way, he's been having to be held accountable for the things that he said. And
So
that
now, yeah,
for
now,
every action, there's an equivalent
there's a
response.
reaction.
There's equivalent response,
right.
right? So
Right.
with the Kanye situation and deep diving into it, just taking it off a surface level, yes, what he said about Hitler and everything is wrong, right? Um,
But he lost deals.
and yeah, so in the equivalent to that, he lost all his contracts and everything that he was fighting gone.
And even going back to the slavery is a choice situation.
Go back and read that clip. I always tell people that's just like the Allen Iverson practice thing. The man said, not slavery itself. He said that's another one of the time when Kanye actually caught himself and reran that shit back. He said, not slavery and change. He said slavery in the mind. You know what I'm saying? Was the choice to remain slave in the mind. So to do something repeatedly for over 400 years, to be a slave and mentally for himself for 400 years, doing the same shit as basically what he's saying is like in our culture, doing the same shit over and over, that's a choice to keep doing it. Prime example, right? In 1980, 1990s, we got videos of Prince, Michael Jackson, all our black entertainers telling them like, yo, labels is fucking us over. Labels is doing this. They doing interviews, they protest. That shit was 40 years ago. And 40 years ago today, our same prominent artists doing the exact same shit. Every year there's a new artist that comes out and say, man, my label fucked me over. Or they on Twitter screaming about, I hate this label shit, go independent. And very next year, it's the same shit. People keep signing to labels, right?
I want to
Now
ask you something about
the
that.
executives coming out saying how the labels are messing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but slave like all he was speaking to us mentally, like doing the same thing over and over. That once you keep making the same mistake, that shit becomes a choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we keep doing that shit. You keep seeing
But
that
is
shit.
it if you were raised and kind of conditioned to just do one thing? If you're not exposed to it, how do you even know that that exists for yourself?
I mean, we're in the internet age. We're in the internet age, and we're in the.
I'm going back to Kanye saying that Harriet Tubman and them had choice. If they exposed to the
He
same
never
thing,
said Harriet telling them had a choice, and if we, but if we wanted to be real in the situation, you do like wait when when they took our ancestors when it was allegedly they took some of our ancestors from Africa because it's a whole story. They say some of us is already here, some of us got from Africa, right? So that's a whole other conversation. But when they took some of them from the boat, it's stories and it's a legend that told people say, you know what? Instead of me being in chains, I'm going I'm gonna kill my baby or I'm gonna jump in the ocean because I know what's waiting for me when I dock on it in America or this land where they taking us. That's a choice. One thing we be thinking when they said that everybody was thinking like, yo, a choice means like it's gonna be good and bad. No, your choices don't always be good and bad. Your choice can either be this or that. Sometimes your choice in that situation, your choice could have been death or remain a slave. Nat Turner, right? In a situation with him and Nat Turner, his choice was, yo, we fought back, and it ended up to them getting killed. But he fought back. He rebelled. So you have a choice. That shit was a choice. Now everybody that's pushing back and saying, oh no.
Mm.
You have a choice to do something, yo. When you step into but your choice don't always mean it's gonna be something good. So when somebody
Now, chattel slavery, though, American chattel slavery don't compare because it wasn't no choice either way. And I think that people got to be careful when you talking about that type of shit because it's like you don't want to demonize people that are undergoing chattel slavery. You don't want to demonize the ancestors like that because I guarantee you, if this generation was put in that damn situation, how many motherfuckers you think would motherfucker either sell their own kind of slavery or jump off? You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker wouldn't endure that type of shit. Wasn't no damn choice.
I'm gonna always get
I
pushback.
agree with no choice.
I'm gonna always give you pushback on that because that shit is always a choice. That shit is the rebel. Harriet Tubman remaining a slave. Her remaining a slave.
What would you have done? Would you jumped off the boat and killed yourself, or would you say, "Well, I'll just live out the rest of my days being a slave"?
Cause again, the people that made it to
You see,
America,
you asked me that question, right? So in the end of that question, I have two answers, right? You gave me two
No,
answers.
because you get one choice, so you don't
No,
get
you
two.
gave me two. You gave me a choice. That's all it is. You just gave me
One.
you gave me a choice. Don't mean the
But
choice.
I'm asking. You know how it's Valentine's
No,
Day.
you asked me what I would do. What
It's
I would do,
Valentine's
what
Day.
I would do is nothing void. But all
and
it
then some.
goes back to what we said. It was a choice.
It
Now
goes
what?
back to you still have
But
not answered
that's
my
not
question.
that's
What
not
would
the
you do?
same
No,
thing
you like.
though.
All right, let's say if I'm gonna jump in the water,
Cody, you a
That's
street
what you
star. Hold on.
wholeheartedly would do,
Let me
I'll
break
jump
it
in the
down.
water.
Look,
and kill
Cody,
your kids too.
But Cody, let me break down
You
to
ever
you
seen
this
you ever seen the
concept.
movie Beloved?
Movies
Long
aren't real,
time
so
ago. A long
No,
time ago.
new art depicts reality, yo. You ever seen the movie Beloved with old girl with the bees and shit? You ever seen that movie?
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You remember that part in the movie when the white man was coming to take her kids?
Yeah.
My mama always pointed that shit out to me. Then when they was coming to get her kids, she killed her kids because she knew what was she didn't want them to become slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Like yo,
I answer.
people have choices. You have don't mean that your choice is always going to be good. Like that's I think that's the whole part that we be missing in some of these situations is that I do realize that the slavery shit was fucked up.
I
Slavery
just think I just think you holding on to what he said and not like the grand scheme of
the,
like what he said, like the aftermath of your choice. Think about it. Like regardless of you killing yourself, regardless of you letting your kids stay on the boat and they go into slavery, slavery is you're not ending slavery that way.
that wasn't the thing of what he was saying.
So it should not have even
He
been said.
said
It
to
was done
remain a
that.
slave. He said to
That's why
remain
I'm
a,
getting to. He
he's
didn't have
saying
to
to
just that.
remain a slave. To remain a slave is a
And,
choice.
and then don't you think though it's kind of real easy to say that kind of thing when you kind of ain't are far removed from them conditions that led to that. You know, you living your American privileged life free off the benefits of your ancestors and shit, and then you gonna say, because who knows what any of us would have done if we were in that same damn predicament.
Yeah,
You know
sure.
what I'm saying? And
Um,
I would give, and like I said, this generation of motherfuckers, it's gonna be some selling. It's gonna be some selling. It's gonna be some snitching. It's gonna be some selling. Half this generation will sell their little mama and sister to the white man as soon as possible.
I
Look at
think I,
look at
I,
how
I
this
think
going
I
down.
think I think as we move along, I think we really gotta understand the idea of slavery didn't start with America. Slavery been here since the beginning of the time. You know what I mean?
Chattel slavery start, not slavery within itself.
Explain
Slavery
explain that
just regular.
explain that terminology.
So there's slavery within itself has always existed in the Bible and the Roman order.
Yeah,
Then there's chattel slavery. American chattel slavery was just unlike any other kind of slavery. Black Americans are the only group of people that was bred and created. You know what I'm saying? You had back to back pillaging of land, all like not land, but people from all across America, all across sitting in Brazil, all over the continents and stuff like that. Reproduce, like factory. Like we were slavery, chattel slavery is pretty much like when we were just like raised and went under such uniquely abusive conditions, unlike any other group of people. Our conditions were uniquely abusive. We were uniquely took from these countries in such a way. We were mass produced over generations. You know what I'm saying? We were essentially a product because with regular slavery, it wasn't forever. It wasn't till you die. You know what I mean? You weren't always born a slave. With chattel slavery, you were born a slave, you were created a slave until you died. You was less than a person. You know what I mean? Like hell, even like how it is like with prison and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you worked, and that was it. That was your whole existence. You were sold. You were a product. You were a commodity. You know what I'm saying? Compared to certain other nations where you were a slave for only a certain amount of time until you paid or whatever,
a
and you
ditch of
were free.
service. A ditch of
Yeah,
service. Yeah.
yeah.
So I get what you're saying with that, guy, and everything you're saying is you're completely true with that, right? All I am saying is right. In order to in order to just take the steps for us to be free, people made a choice not to do the same shit no more, right? And the way we break cycles and anything we do in life and doing in culture is somebody stand up and like, yo, we're not doing that shit no more.
Right.
So the conditions that we were in were fucked up. You know what I mean? But it was groups of people that made a choice that said, no, we're not doing this shit no more. And until those and some people succeed, some people didn't. But overall, when you continue a rebellion, you're going to eventually succeed. So all Ye was saying is, yo, once you get out that mindset, like, yo, I have to remain here. and I'm gonna do anything in this to get up out of here, you're gonna always be a slave. So that's anything we do in a society now to
And
this.
that go back to the way one of the biggest problems with Ye is the way he's a terrible communicator because it's also the way he delivered his messages too.
But
Because
that
you can say, but you hold on, but you can say you like what you just said. It was greatly put, but you can say all that without demonizing an entire generation of people that went through things that none of us are fortunate enough to ever know about.
I get that, man. But that's also my standpoint where they say as our culture we're too emotional and too sensitive to our shit, right? Because we can't we can acknowledge one thing, but also understand that our focus is right here, right? So we're gonna always acknowledge what those people went through. You know what I'm saying?
Right, you can say all that without demonizing.
You can, but at the same time, what we speaking on right now. Right now, you can tell me like, yo, we don't demonize those people, and I can agree with you on like that's part. But now let's move to the next subject. Once we on the same page that we understand what our ancestors went through, we understand like that shit was some fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying? For lack of a better words, we
Right.
understand. We hear with that. We don't even have to bring that shit up no more. Now we talking about this. What we talking about now is the mindset, how you move forward. And the
Cause
way
we ain't talking about Ye really.
if my delivery is not the best and way I talking about that, stay on that. Let's get that.
Not yo delivery. I'm talking about Ye delivery.
We're not talking about Ye right now. We're talking about me and you. If I'm Ye and I'm talking about the shit right now, right? We're talking about the mindset and moving forward and how we break the chains. If my delivery and how I speak on that is not the best, hey brother, the way you delivering that, let's deliver that a little bit better. But don't go back into you demonizing those people, you inhumanizing that, you insensitive. No, because me and you we already talked about that. We understand that shit was fucked up,
Right.
right?
I ain't say you. When I say you, I want to clarify. When I say you,
No,
I ain't
I get you, but we taking
person.
it off Ye right now, right? Because Ye
Right.
is a horrible communicator, and I can't speak for Ye, but I can speak for myself, right?
Right. Right.
So
I ain't heard.
as a person that has as known for not being able to communicate the best,
Mm.
I understand. I can understand what the man a little bit, right? But I do understand. Okay, we have
Gotcha.
emotions, so take emotions out of it. We both understand that we agree. We agree. That's
And
fucked up.
slavery is an emotional conversation.
It's an
Some
emotional
black
conversation, but
He's playing out of emotion.
until you can't get to the next level if you don't take the emotions out of it.
right.
Prime example, right? George Floyd. They got us on emotions, right? Right.
Right.
And out of that whole situation, you had the whole world by the balls. We got Juneteenth. What else we get?
A lot of jobs and shit like that. There were a lot more people being hired for certain positions.
Apology.
That's a whole nother conversation too. That opens up a rabbit hole because now you're seeing a lot of those companies now rescind on a lot of the things that were promised, and
Because
then
it was
a
an
lot of,
emotional time.
right,
Emotional time. If you take the emotions out of it, if we take emotions out of a lot of shit that we got going on and start thinking
I
logic,
feel like you talking about taking the emotions out of history, and I just think that
that's what you going. You going back to history. I'm not even speaking on history because I can acknowledge
how
that.
are you not speaking on history? You just brought up Juneteenth. You not speaking on
No,
history.
you taking about the
How you
emotions
just
out
trying to rush the president? You not speaking on history. You were just talking about people
of.
following
All
those
right.
votes
That's
400,
that,
500 years ago.
Bree,
Please put it on.
Bree is proving my point that we're always gonna speak on the situation and the emotions of surrounding the situation and how that made you feel, and we're never as people as a person.
I did not say anything about how I felt.
But you just talk about taking the emotions out of history. Going back to what I'm saying,
I asked you. You
we're never
said
gonna sit there and focus on it.
you just said
We never go focus. Our culture will never focus on solutions. Because the minute you be like, and that's why people don't be like type of conversations with me. Because our emotions out the way, it's over with. You feel how you feel. I feel how I feel. Cool. What's next? Because I'm gonna forget about the emotions
right,
after 24 hours. I'm gonna forget about me and you having a disagreement. I'm not gonna give a fuck about it no more.
right.
If you ain't talking about the solution based on how we moving forward, then why is we still talking about old shit? Because
I
the same, because the shit is still the same. Because it's a Senate. We still talk about the old shit. We still marching. Niggas shoot you in the middle of the street, you gonna march until it happen again.
it ain't so much the marching part. The problem is people fall off after the marching because the contrary to what. Wait, hold on. What was we initially talking about in the first place?
Exactly. Thank you.
Cause that we
Thank
going
you.
on a whole
Thank
nother
It's
you.
a
rabbit
whole
hole.
tangent. It's a whole rabbit hole. I don't even want to go
It's
on
a
that rabbit
whole
hole. But the same,
that's some deep. That's some real deep
it's
shit
a,
I can get
and
into. But what else we supposed to be talking about?
What
we go.
else is gonna run the show? Because I'm tired.
We gonna
So
move.
I go on and on with my political shit. But what else we
Talking
talk
about
about?
our people ain't
That's
gonna never
fun.
move forward. We don't think about solutions.
We not solution based as a it's a
Well,
few of
how
us
did
that
we
are.
get here?
It's a
How,
few of us that it's a few of us that are solution based, right? It's a
how
few of
you
us.
gonna say it's a few people in the culture that's solution based?
It's definitely it's a few of us it's a few of us that's solution based, right? And that's how when you see certain shit, you be like, though the upper echelon of certain people are like this. You be like, damn, why is only very few of us? When they say shit like, well, black people got the one of the third highest buying power in the world, right? So that means money. We produce money, we spend money, but we don't understand why we got it. We don't got this, or we don't got that because it's only a very few of us that think. It's only very few of us that think and that understand how this shit go without emotions, and they put plans in place and move. But with that only being said, they only can help they people. They can't help everybody.
You
You
know
know
who
what I'm
else spent a lot of money? Verizon Wireless on Beyonce in the Super Bowl ad and this country music that she put out. A whole lot of
That's
money.
another. Now that. You know what's funny though? Like them country man. I ain't gonna lie. Them Beehive got on motherfuckers' ass about their country record, man. They starting to play that shit on them country stations. I remember that whole post. They said we don't play Beyonce. 24
I
hours
think
later, they start playing that song.
but country music is like so taken away from other genres of music because country music a lot of times sticks to music unless it's like that kind of converts over to like a pop. So that station that was out in Oklahoma, they probably didn't even know that Beyonce dropped a real country song.
Right.
Right, because after that, I think a couple hours later, they issued a statement that said, "Oh yeah, we playing Beyonce now." I just think they just didn't know at the
That
time.
that could be true because she just
What
dropped.
happened with the station? You got to give me some backstory for me and then and the people at home. What Oklahoma didn't do? That was it sounded like did some racist shit.
So please chill out. We're not racist. Chill out. No. We done got you started clearly. Nat Turner.
No, I'm with
um,
that.
so Beyonce dropped two country songs. She dropped 16 Characters and then she dropped the Texas Hold'em, I believe that's what it's called. The Texas Hold'em song. Two country songs she dropped during the Super Bowl, actually. So of course, country fans that are Beyonce fans are going to call up to their country stations in these country towns and ask the country radio stations to play the new Beyonce song. They were sending requests and emails about it. And one station in Oklahoma actually responded to an email and said, "Hey, we do not play Beyonce at this station." Which makes sense because it's not like Beyonce just been dropping. She got one other country song, which was Daddy Lessons off, I think, the Lemonade album. I think it was Lemonade album. She dropped Day Lessons, which was a country song, and she pissed the country people off because she performed it at the Country Music Awards with the Dixie Chicks, and they wasn't really feeling the Dixie Chicks back then. So yeah, so the radio station responded and said we don't play Beyonce here, and they took it to the blogs, and blogs blasted it up, and it made it kind of look like they were saying we would never play Beyonce. But after analyzing the situation, because a couple hours later they issued out another statement that said that hey, we're playing Beyonce now. I personally think they probably thought that it wasn't that big of a record, or they probably just did not know that Beyonce really dropped a country song that's worth playing on the radio because they didn't play Daddy Lessons on the radio, and she didn't put Daddy Lessons out as a single either.
So you see what I'm saying is that's emotion though, right? They
How's that
took
emotion?
they took
But
they
that
they
that's
took
that.
their emotion of them trying to get a Beyonce on the record and tried to overblast that station and even
Cody, why can't it be they just asked a question?
but you blasting them and trying to make it a bigger thing than what it was.
Because
because
that's
that
the
because that's
culture of today. That's media culture.
and
That's
then
media culture.
and
If
then we
Beyonce
got
was to DM you right now
Mm-hmm.
and say something, wow, you want to send it to, you want to post it on What's the Word? If
If
Beyonce was like, hey, I love What's the Word, would you post it? Or would you just keep it?
and then you know
I
what?
wouldn't know,
And then the other
I'll
thing
put it in our group chat.
the other
Took it
thing too
out.
we gotta recognize is
Took
people
it
are
out.
also reacting this way too, because there's a long history of racism with black people in country music, and now the way it's emotional for a lot of people because this is one of the biggest time. Even though there are black country artists still like out
There's been a
here,
surge of black country artists for at
that's what
least the
I'm
past
getting at.
5 to 6 years.
I know I'm getting to that. I'm getting to that as I'm speaking. You know, there have been and there are a lot of like black country artists, but I think for a lot of people, this Beyonce record is probably one of the first times you're seeing somebody cross over in country in a really big way. Because you know all the time she got snubbed for those awards, and people are thinking about all those times she got snubbed for those Grammy awards, and people are kind of seeing this as now opportunity to really cement, reclaim or resubmit black people into country music all the way, you know. And I think ultimately, if this country album go big, I think that's gonna benefit all of the other black country artists that are out here doing their thing right now in a lot of ways.
Also,
And then you can't.
I'll
And
point
then
out something else.
go ahead.
Every time Beyonce drops a single, I get an email from the label. But maybe the label didn't send the country song to the country radio station.
That's it too. That could be it too.
Same
Therefore,
here.
maybe it wasn't meant to be a single.
Every time an artist release some music, I get an email. I get a pack in my email.
Get a
Yo,
pack from the label.
such and such just dropped. I get a pack in my email every time. All I want to say is,
Don't you better not say emotion. You don't get to say
black
emotion no
people,
more. 24
please,
hours.
I'm gonna quit saying black people. Culture, hip hop. Let this lady do. Please don't do too much of Beyonce doing country, because y'all didn't give a shit about country music before she dropped this album. You know what I'm saying? That was not our thing. Like, yo, we for that try to attack country music. Even when you start talking about country music, right? When you start talking about music and you start talking about shit, right? If the people in that country music genre that consumes country music, if they don't fuck with what puts out what the music that's being put out there from Beyonce, y'all can't get mad if she don't win shit. Just being real. Cause most of y'all are gonna go, most of us in hip hop and in the culture, we're only going to go listen to those songs because Beyonce dropped it. It's probably
Right,
black. He just mentioned black country. It's black country artists all the time. Somebody just mentioned K Michelle do country. It's people that do black people that do country all the time, right?
right. Shout out Cam
We're,
Brown.
we're not supporting them on a heavy basis. They're not in rotation in our culture. If they came in the barbecue or they came at a show, we wouldn't even know who they is.
It's her marketing. That's her fault.
We wouldn't know who they is. So let's not start this uproar about that about country music. Let Beyonce do her thing. Support the album. How we gonna support the album? We're the culture gonna support it
Although
financially.
there are a lot of black people that do like country music. Let's not get because
My daddy like country music.
it's a lot of black people that do like country music. Let's get that clear. They may not. They just don't be in our community because they don't fucking listen to hip hop. And
We're
some that
saying the
do
same shit.
don't. I'm not necessarily going against you either because I do feel like if you gonna put all that energy to Beyonce, then you should put all that energy to other black country artists.
No,
I ain't saying you as in Cody. I'm
but that's
talking
not the
about
That's not what the culture gonna do. The culture majority of the culture is the 85% people that they talk about. Their followers, like Bree was talking about,
right.
they follow it for clickbait. They gonna follow what goes on. There's only a handful of us that
I be
There's only
saying
a handful of us that's going to think with our own minds. That's going to be like, "Yo, I want to go search this genre. I'm going to go listen to this. Oh, this shit sound
That
dope. I'm gonna listen to this." Only a handful of us that does that.
I agree. I
So,
agree.
I agree with
go.
I agree with the comment. Black people are at the origin of country music. She's literally reclaiming it for black people because this could literally just be a resurgence of Beyonce going into country music, and we can start paying more attention to other country artists that might be good. And they also have like country like rappers too. We
There
just
are
don't.
shout out Jelly
So
Roll, shout out Jelly
let's
Yeah,
Roll.
start. So let's start that conversation. Let that be the pillar of conversation. How we bridge this gap and saying like, yo, there are other artists out there that do this shit. It's gonna open our eyes to what's going on, and we just hope that the culture starts supporting these other artists. Let that be with it. Don't be try to make it controversial because it's like, yo, y'all wasn't checking for none of this shit before she drops.
And let's be clear. And let's be
like,
clear. And Cody, I want to ask you: are we talking about the culture, or are we talking about the Beehive?
we are
Oh,
never talking about the Beehive.
Because that's some because I
The
that's
Beehive is
the
going to do whatever Beyonce asks to
the
do.
beehive is the
because
beehive
that's
is
the
gonna
one
do
who
whatever
raising hell
Beyonce do.
behind this song the most. Like it ain't so much as the culture as much as the people that's raising hell behind this song is mostly the Beehive, which is large, which is
Right.
within the culture.
Which is it's a sub genre within the culture.
Again,
We all know somebody that's a part of the beehive. Like we
they
could like
bigger than the
we talk to
GDs.
somebody, you know what I'm saying? He said
Who?
the beehive bigger than the GD.
Yeah, the Beehive is bigger than the GDs. That's the biggest. That's one of the biggest gangs in the music industry besides the Barbie. They way bigger
Please,
than
Mark,
GDs.
please.
Shit. You come
Here,
over there talking that fuck that country song out there shit, you gonna see what happened.
the beehive
So
bigger than the GDs.
yeah, yeah. The Beehive is bigger
That's
than
what's
the
up.
GDs.
That's what's up. That's crazy.
I'm telling you that now. And you know this. Everybody that
I
know
don't even know how to
this.
come back from that. Like,
Because cause think about it.
why?
They everywhere. They at your job. You got Beehive members at your job. You got Beehive members at your school. You got
In the
Beehive
churches.
members in O Block. You got
Okay,
Beehive members on 63rd. The
okay.
Beehive is bigger than every gang besides the bars. Besides the bar. That's a real gang. You want to talk about some fan gangs. They'll want your ass.
That's my day, Mark.
Shit.
Thank you.
And most of them got degrees and shit, man. The Beehive is dangerous.
Oh, uh,
Shit.
that
You
shit.
better not fuck around and say the wrong shit. Otherwise, you might fuck around and be missing a check fucking around with the Beehive.
Well, while we on the subject of gang, there was a whole gang of people coming for one particular celebrity chef from Chicago. This
Ooh.
is
Wait, what happened?
Uh, so we gonna speak on my boy Law County, man. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go too much in on him. But Law, was allegedly accused of scamming people, for meals. Basically, people was paying him for deposits for him to cater their food, and he never showed up with the food. So they took it to the internet and they blasted him. The shit went on blogs. The blogs blasted him. He issued a statement. Speaking on he issued a statement speaking on basically what happened. It was just an all bad situation. Like everything was just all bad. Law is actually one of the homies. I've done business with Law before. Uh,
I booked him for a brunch before, and I didn't have an issue.
and I think that's where I this is kind of what where I kind of like was at with the whole situation, right?
And what's the real story behind it?
I think it happened. Like it happened. Like it's instance where people booked him and paid their money and he didn't show, but at the same time, it's instance when people booked their money, paid their
And
money,
he,
and he came through. Regular
yeah.
people, celebrities, so everybody got different stories. Go ahead, Bree.
I also think that because I think Chicago, I don't know if this could just be Chicago, but I feel like because when Chicago gets close to somebody they feel like could have some type of like status or some type of like fame because he did start catering for like I think Playboy Cardi, Justin Bieber, Cole Bennett, and people like that. So then when you kind of know that you can book him and kind of touch him, so when he does do something wrong, instead of you just saying, "Hey, let me handle this in private," I want to blast him because I know if I say something, somebody else gonna say something. Somebody else gonna retweet it, and whether that's the way you want to go or not, like whether that's your intentions or not, I do think a couple like some people that do speak out about it is because they want to go viral because
Yeah.
he has a big following.
It's a I don't want to call it a
Also, time management is a thing.
and that's the thing is I don't want to call it a clout chasing move on the customers that have the bad
No,
experience.
I don't want to do that either, especially if that was your real experience.
Yeah, with no real
But
experience.
there's also a way to handle certain situations off the internet.
And I don't want to say that what he did was a scam either, right?
Because if you're gonna run your own business, you have to do
I
it.
look at it as just bad business practice because a scam. And my thing is, when I think of a scam is that I had never had no intent of doing the service. And if it's history, if it's some type of history, if it's some type of record of me actually doing the service, I would say that's just bad practices, bad business practice, opposed to me just being a scam. You know what I mean?
I just think scam is me putting some money into something and not getting my money back. Like if you never give me my money back, then yeah, I got scammed. I don't care if we was communicating or not. If it's been like over a week and you're not even planning to get my money back, then yeah, I got scammed.
Mm.
That's a scam.
But if you give me my money back, I'm not gonna say I got scammed. You just didn't do the business.
I got Law. I've been talking to Law. I'm gonna holler at Law. And honestly, me personally, personally, I feel like it just. I think like Bree said earlier. I think it's time management. I think it's just somebody that don't know how to run a business. I think I've known Law to do some bad business malpractices in the past. So I could see your past catching up with you. Like your past carrying along because your name is your name, right? Your name is everything you got. That's gonna always be you got. So anytime you do something wrong, people are always going to like, yo, you did that wrong. I don't care if that shit was 3 years ago. Like you did that wrong to me. You did that wrong. Your name is your
I
name.
also feel like every time this come up every 6 months when something slips up and he misses like a gig or something, then people from like 3-5 years be like, yeah, he been scamming since we were 12 and he still owe me 50 cents for my bag of chips in the 3rd grade and
Yeah.
yeah, it's like bro, come on now. I
Yeah.
ain't gonna lie, some of the tweets was funny. This one nigga was like, I need my bitch to trust me the way y'all be trusting Law Cannon. That sent me, okay?
Ooh, that's
Yeah, shout out to Law, man. Law, if you watching this, if you see
I
this,
love Law. I love Law.
if you see this clip, we gonna sit down and we gonna chop it up and figure out a way to we gonna get your side of the story, and at the same time, we gonna have to figure out a way where the business that you're doing, let's clean it up. You know what I mean? Because you're a fellow Saluki. You know what I mean? And honestly, I think
He's great at what he
you're
do.
great at what you do, and I feel like you're robbing the people of an experience, and you're also robbing yourself if you just don't really sit down and really fine tune your business. So,
It's just a lot that goes into. It's a lot that goes into running a business, and even like
right.
somebody at his caliber, like you started out making like nachos, shrimp nachos, and then all of a sudden you getting booked by celebrities to come and cater for like and stuff. So maybe stuff is just moving too fast for him, and he just don't know how to catch up.
And sometimes things happen, like you know what I mean. Like I'm an independent contractor. Sometimes even me. Sometimes things happen. Some certain things may have happened that may have been out of your control at the moment, or you might not have been responsible with a situation. You come in because it's one thing when you're doing bad shit, but then it's another thing when you come in with the best intentions and then something just fucked up happens. You know what I mean? Or you just do something, you move wrong in a way you didn't intend to move wrong when you came into a situation with your best intentions. That's how
And
some
it's
of my
hard
work
when
happened.
you in a business of serving other people. Like it's always gonna be hard.
And it's not right. It's not that's not an easy profession at all. Like people be knocking food, people and shit like that. Man, I don't really be liking that because that's not an easy job everybody can do. That's damn near that's food management and people management at the same time.
so
Especially when you don't have a big team to handle it all. So I hope that people get their money back. I
and
hope
I'm on that side. That's the side I'm standing on too. Like, long as
both of them
people get their bread back, then law you have some type of future, and I'm gonna continue to give you grace. But if you running off on the plug,
But it still was people that was hitting him that was like, yo, I just found your page. I feel like the scandal, but it looked like you got good rapport to me. I'm gonna book you. So,
Like I say, I feel like it's a tweak that it's a tweak he need to just make. And I think I come, and this is personally, I always come from the point of view of like I'm pro Chicago, right? I'm pro for the career, pro SIU. And when I have a personal relationship with somebody, it's like, yo, IG. And I know Lawden hollered at me on so much other shit. So it's like G, like, what's the real issue? Because everybody gonna use their platform to talk shit about you and bring you down. But sometimes we also gotta play devil's advocate and just really see what's going on here. And I don't think we get.
this time, he had a lot of people
I
going to bat.
agree. That's one of the things I hate. We don't do enough of. Everybody's so quick to point. And when you hear a situation, people pointing this, and demonize somebody, whole time you don't even know what the real situation actually is. Now, unless, and I'm excluding all black and white extreme situations. Like
Mhm.
some situations, it's clear cut. But then some situation is, maybe you need to, maybe he might need some help, in some degree. You know what I'm saying? You got to feel back,
His response, I really did admire his response because he pretty much was like, "Look, I've tried to work with people, and it didn't work out to try to fix the situations as far as like getting the team to like help assist type thing. Like sometimes I did have family emergencies, like I had a kid, things like that. So I think he did put it in like when he made his post, he did put into perspective like all the things that could have been wrong, and he never made an excuse for it. He never made an excuse. He took full responsibility. So I do commend him for that because I think that's a lot of growth.
Yeah, man. People gotta like every situation doesn't require the most extreme and harmful and hurtful response. Sometimes you gotta do some digging and ask bro what's really going on. Is there anything you might need
Yeah,
help with?
like, and
Talk
clearly
to.
it's fixable because now if the food was bad and he was out here doing this, I've
Oh
been,
yeah, yeah. Now
Nah,
if the food terrible,
the
then you
food
go to
A1. I ain't even
but the
gonna lie.
food,
I was down there for our next team outing because I was gonna tell them to have Law come cater that shit. Like, I need some
we
dessert.
should. Let's
and,
vlog.
and especially if he's not getting anybody sick.
These
Now
are those lamb chops.
if Law getting people sick now, then you gotta go World War III on
Okay.
him.
Well, that has never been the issue. Nobody else said the food was weak. Nobody else said
We got
we
food
got
poisoning.
sick off the food. They just said, hey, we just ain't had no food.
I
Food
gotta
never
get I gotta get Law a new number. I just hit him. I need his new number. I was texting him through the DM. I gotta ask him his new number.
I have his number.
You guys number?
Yeah.
Yeah. We text. I'll get his new number. I was definitely finna tell. I was finna send his ass the link. Like, nigga, jump on the live, bro. Jump on the live real quick.
We're not ready to talk about it because don't
But
make it a tell his story.
yeah, we'll do that for another day. It's hot.
But we hope that we get their money and we hope Law get better business practices
Mm,
in this another catering event.
yeah, for
I'm going
sure.
right now.
But I'm gonna move on before we get to this. Is something that's probably a little bit more in depth, and I'm glad Mark is on here to talk about this because you're a big advocate of Chicago hip hop, and then you understand the streets a lot too. Unlike a lot of people that's covering hip hop, like you understand the streets. Um, so last week, a clip went viral of a rapper, THFTP, being murdered.
Oh,
That clip went murdered, and as
are you referring to the one that got murked on the west side?
yeah, in
Okay.
front of the kids,
I know what you're talking about now. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. R.I.P. Oh yeah,
We're
yeah.
not showing the clip right.
Now we're not gonna show the clip. We're not gonna show the clip. If you want to see the clip, it's on the website, but we're not gonna show the clip. But what I wanted to, and some people saying no, it wasn't his kids. Some people said it was his kids. Uh,
Regardless, it was kids there.
it was, it
Yeah,
was,
it don't matter. You don't
it
still
was
that's still kids, regardless of whose kids it is.
And then I had people in the comments like, we're gonna take a deep dive through all of it. I'm gonna take our time on this, not to rush through this. But it was people in the comments that were saying things like, "Oh man, what y'all talking about rules? Is when there ever is never no rules no more, or why is y'all talking about black people and genocide making rules to this shit?" And I wanted to point out that comment because for some reason I don't think people got in their head where they feel like that gang culture is
It's
new.
genocide.
It just started with black people. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't
Right.
know, especially in Chicago, they don't understand the history and the rich of gang culture in America. Started with it,
Okay.
with literally in America. I want to say it started with Irish and Italians. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And black people adapted it to defend themselves against the Irish and Italians. You know what I mean?
Right.
Especially today, it's Valentine's Day. It's a whole look up the Valentine's Day massacre in Chicago. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a history thing of some Italian mob doing some things. So I want to say when we speak on rules from the history of gang culture, when it started with Italians, when it started with Irish and the Irish mob, Irish Catholic mob is real prominent here in Chicago. When it
Right.
started with with Black Gangster Disciples and Stones stuff like that, it was always a thing where like when women and kids are around, like and old people, we not on that type of shit. Meaning, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta have some type of respect for the innocent. And I say this because it's always in the history of the time, it's always gonna be crime. And I'm gonna get a flow to y'all in the beginning in a minute. It's always gonna be crime. Crime has been here since the beginning of the time. It's always gonna be crime, right? And people that choose their life, they choose their life. They know what comes with it. So my thing is that so if somebody want to be in the streets, I'm never gonna preach to somebody that wants to be in the streets. This is they look like, oh man, you on the streets. It's not what you do, it's how you do it, right? So if you in the streets and you moving, it's the code that you embodying. Like, could we have some type of culture where people that's not in the streets, like y'all have the respect for them, like those kids that the trauma that y'all embarking on them, or what could have happened to them because y'all wanted to get on some street shit. That shit that's not like I don't even got the words for that shit, but that shit foul. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna lead the flow to y'all and just I'm gonna just lead. I'll start there. I'm gonna let y'all take it over.
I got a question I want to ask you. Should in this kind of climate, especially when we know that most of these motherfuckers is evil, ain't it? Is there should we? Is there even such thing as a code? Is that even realistic? When you dealing with people that have evil intentions for other people.
Some of your most evil of people, like some of the most gangsters people that I know or street people that I was raised by,
Not gangster, but evil.
like real street criminals that I was raised by and grew up around had a code and they had some type of form of respect.
I think there's always some type of form of respect, like in any situation. Like even the most evil of a person will probably go around and be evil to everybody except for their own children, or
Yeah,
be evil to everybody except for their own mama. Like
That's
there's some
black.
type of respect, and because of the innocence in children, or just innocence in people that are not directly involved in the situation, there should have been some type of respect. Like if y'all saw he was going up there with them kids, y'all could have came back and staked it out until he came back outside by himself or whatever happened. But for you to just do that and get one off in front of those kids are probably traumatized. Those kids have to heal from that.
Yeah, like a lot of kids in Chicago. That just add that kind of shit just keeps adding on to the cycle of violence and abuse within this city.
mm.
You know,
And the violence is gonna never gonna end, right? I think it's the senseless violence that's really getting us, right? Like that's
right?
what it be
The
killing.
ones that just don't make sense. Like you
And
just
it's like, yo, like
hmm.
I don't know, man. It's like when you sign up to be in the streets and want to live that life, like on the flip side of that, I know it's another code to the streets is that yo, if you know what type of time you on, you're not supposed to be riding in the same car with your kids and your mama. Like I had one of my guys and we did the Chicago Scott thing, and then like he had a daughter, and I'm like, yo, we got some tickets to the game. Bring your daughter to the game. And the first thing he told him to me, like, gee, I be in too much shit, bro. I don't even want to. I won't even want to put my daughter in that situation. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. Like you can't even go enjoy a game, you know what I'm saying, with your daughter, just have your daughter take your daughter to the game type shit. But in the same breath, like why is we even fanning that shooting at people when they with their kids?
I think
Because
I was
people out
just
here are sick, man. People out here, it's some evil motherfuckers. I feel like sometimes The reason why I ain't never got into the streets because I always felt like so much of that shit was a lie. So much of that shit wasn't real. So much of that shit just lead to more and more ruin. You know what I mean? Like none of that shit even just never really looked cool or appealing. So it's like, what can you expect from the streets other than evil, evil people, evil, sick, mentally ill individuals doing heinous shit that don't give a fuck about nothing. You see what happened over there with them old block motherfuckers over there. You see how all them niggas got 60 years. They didn't give a damn. They just got out on the Gold Coast and started shooting. That's just the reality of what a lot of people are out here. A lot of these people are depraved, mentally ill individuals that don't give a fuck about nothing. Don't even give a fuck about their own life, let alone the life of children.
I wouldn't necessarily. Well, it's a lot of people that's like that now, but I feel like
Even back then in the
from
90s, it was
timeline
people
on it, but
like
like
that.
back in the day, I feel like there was always something to protect when you was in the streets. Like you either protecting your family, you protecting whatever gang you from, you protecting whatever block you was on, like you protecting however you get your money. Like there was always something that you was protecting, and you moved off of what you were protecting. Now I just feel like everything is accessible first off, so it's like there's nothing for people to be like, oh yeah, I have to move this way because I'm trying to get my mom and out the hood. And I'm trying to do this because like you could literally scan from home. You ain't gotta be outside.
Do y'all
Like
know the backstory of that situation?
I do know he made the record, the bus stop record on Lil Mark, RIP Lil Mark, from all 51st. I knew that's the rapper that made that record. I knew that those allegedly the gang that the people that shot him. I know they've been in war for years. I know that backstory, but anything though, all that shit is null and void when you see them kids and that woman right there.
yeah, like
Right.
you
So
gonna find him. Like if he's alive, you gonna see that man again.
yeah, like you can't. I don't know. I don't understand why people try to justify. Oh man, it's the streets.
No.
A lot of shit. Me personally, I be this close to. I don't even want to see people in jail, but I be feeling like everybody that got an op. If y'all, we need to send their ass to the army, military, or we need to send their ass to the Hunger Games, and we need to be able to bet on y'all ass like DraftKings. For real, like FanDuels, like for real. Like if y'all want to sit here and just be shooting up shit and shoot, if this is y'all goal to go out here and kill each other, yo, send their ass to the Hunger Games.
I'm for sending motherfuckers to the army because that Hunger Games shit, they did have that shit during slavery for niggas.
But
But
also people feel like they more comfortable in jail than they are on the streets too.
Nah, G, cause that shit just crazy. Like when you do shit like that, like
you're a psychopath.
you shot this person in front of them kids, and it was. I'm looking at that visual, Joe. And that visual is just crazy to me because it's three kids out there. The first two take off. It was one kid sitting right there as they was over that man's body. And I don't want to even demonstrate like how they was over, but as they was shooting over his body, after they ran off, the last kid ran off. When they got back in the car, the last kid ran off. So this one kid is just right there watching that shit. And it's like, yo, images like that, it's like, okay, it's cool. It's not cool that it's plastered around the internet. Um, but I hope people watch that shit and be like, gee, like that shit like was what are we really doing out here? Like what is I hope that they guys go back and look at that shit and be like, damn, gee, y'all really did that shit in front of them kids?
And then it's like
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just sick. It's just
Like it,
stupid.
it was really that important to do that shit in front of them like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know, man. I just thought some prayers to everybody that's the kids when involved, goes out to the family of the people, of the rapper that's, you know what I'm saying, that's deceased. You know what I mean? And also I'm gonna pray for the shooters too, man. I'm gonna pray that, you know what I'm saying, you and y'all homies, whatever y'all do, y'all start thinking and moving better because we talked about karma earlier on some playful shit, but street karma in the streets is real because what you put out will come back around. The energy you put out will come back around. And I just hope and pray, like
And
I
I'm
just hope and pray if you ever in that same situation that your ops give you grace, because I'm not gonna say it's never gonna always turn out like that when it's just your target, the only person get touched. Because we seen shit happen when the dude was at McDonald's with his daughter getting a fucking Happy Meal, and y'all took a little girl like, you know what I'm saying? So it's
I'm
like,
so glad none of those kids got killed.
so glad. So I just hope, I just pray that the when it comes to retaliation, that they just give them people grace if they ever get caught in that situation. You
Or
know what
y'all
I'm
leave that shit alone,
Better.
whatever it may
If
be.
y'all know somebody, y'all got ops and people after y'all, please know better. Even if y'all got some kids in with your uncle, your brother.
saying? And women, man, if y'all got any dude, y'all young ladies, I be having little cousins, man. They love that type of shit. Like, y'all got to stop fucking with them, all of them that be on that type of shit. Move around, man. Like, move around. Like, ladies love that type of shit, especially the young girls. They love them niggas that's in the streets that got guns and like,
I don't love that no more.
You
move
said no
around.
more, huh? Look at Bree.
Nah,
I'm serious.
move around. 'Cause
I'm delivered.
that shit can end so bad, yo. Move around.
Yeah, and like that's, and I don't even want to demonize them type of folk. It's just that shit. Just the streets is a lie. Like I really feel like that. The streets ain't nothing but one big ass lie. Like it's a lie. Don't fall for that shit.
For real. Get the fuck up out of there. Well, man, we gonna try. I'm gonna try to transition to something that hopefully is a little bit more funny. To lift our spirits up on this Wednesday afternoon. Um, Thoughts and prayers to everybody in that last segment.
Yeah,
Amen.
my heart a little heavy now.
Uh, the Mike Epps and Shannon Sharp shit.
I got a lot to say about this Shannon Sharp shit. I'll tell you now. I think it's so funny. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to Cody's favorite word: emotional. Emotions. That's what. Because one thing about all creatives, especially comedians, artists, rappers, whoever it may be, all creatives, artistic motherfuckers are some sensitive ass niggas. All of them. Every last one of them. Even the motherfuckers that's from the street, even people like Mike Epps, all the motherfuckers, some sensitive ass motherfuckers. And for all these motherfuckers, all these people calling Shannon Sharp Wendy Williams, and mind you, you talking about a nigga that's been watching Club Shay Shay since the pandemic. You know what I mean? Going back to where it wasn't no Club Shay. It was two niggas on the mic, just like this. You know what I mean? Right now, just like this. He's talking to his brother. He made an incredible interview. You know what I'm saying? I think what it really is with all these comedians is they mad that somebody really just like all the stuff that was kept underground just coming out. People just talking, people getting called out for who they are, and to get mad at that. See, you know what that remind me of? That remind me of all them situations you be talking about when them people, when interviewers and certain like that get mad at you and get mad at people like DJ and all of that for asking questions, for having conversations and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And Shannon Sharper beat that man ass. Shannon Sharper motherfucker put that man in a soup plate. Boom, boom, boom. Niggas won't even know
Cody,
you ain't gonna talk. Got the nerve to call
how
that
about you
man
tell
gay.
us what happened?
Because I would let Mike. I threw the ball to Mark to let him ISO a little bit, but you know what I'm saying. I
Tell us
let
what happened.
him pass the rock back. Pass the rock back.
Go
All
ahead,
right.
go
So
break down, man.
backstory. No, Shannon Sharp been having all the black comedians on his sitting on the couch on Club Shay Shay's podcast. Go check it out. Great content. And Mike Epps recently did like a stand up. Like he did like a little stand up, and he was like, "Yo, Shannon Sharp tried to get me to come on there, but I told him no, Medea." So basically, insinuated that Shannon Sharp is gay. Um, so Shannon Sharp saw that clip that went around, and he went on his other podcast, Nightcap, with him and Chad Johnson, and was basically saying like, when I see you, when me and you gonna talk, like you gotta talk. You put my name in your mouth when I see you, we gonna talk. To me, already was a red flag. And Shannon, you too much of a media quote unquote darling, like to even respond to shit like that. You know what I'm
And too
saying?
much of an OG. This man, and he an NFL Hall of Famer. One of the greatest motherfuckers to ever do it.
One of the greatest to ever do it. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Illustrious figure.
so Mike responded like, "Yo, I don't even fight when you come to Indianapolis for." I'm from Indianapolis. You know, that's my hometown. When you come out here for All Star Weekend, if you talking about you gonna see me, let's come on. I'm a bow, 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 bow. Basically, insinuating he gonna shoot. He gonna have his
Somebody
guy
call
shoot.
Bo Deal. Call Bo Deal to squash this situation, man. Call Bo Deal, man.
It's already squashed though. So I don't. We're not even gonna play the video on Mike Epps because it's already squashed. They both released statements saying that
That
I mean they talked it out as human being, they talked it out as man to man, and what they gonna do is they gonna when they see each other All Star Weekend, they just gonna have a conversation in person about it, but it's not gonna be no beef. I want to
they
I
need
also
to have Club
feel
Shay
like
Shay All
I
Star
want to
Week.
get Bree's perspective on it because we just what I'm saying took our shots more. I want to see what Bree got to say.
Go ahead.
I just always feel like when comedians say stuff, I always feel like everything that comedians say on stage is not real. Like everything is not real. So some of it could be real, but I also feel like majority of it is just for the joke. So if he said it in a stand up and he called you Medea, like what's the difference of you sitting in front of Cat Williams, but you're allowing Cat Williams to call all these other people gay? I
That's
didn't really see no difference in
That's
it. So
another issue. It's just
I just felt like it shouldn't have even gotten that far for him to feel offended. But Mike Epps
Mike,
calling him a thief.
Mike
Like it was,
actually Mike Epps actually brought that up in his statement. Like, yo, I'm mad everybody else cracked jokes. So why you mad at me? I'm just cracking a joke.
yeah, like just like how he cracked jokes with Cat Williams and Miss Chan. He was like, "Dang, I got a stand up coming out. I needed some promo." You said all them other comedians except for me. Like you could have said my name. Like it was. I thought
I
it was
wouldn't
just
be
a
surprised.
propaganda.
You know what's funny? I wouldn't be surprised if that was that reason he made that joke.
That's what I was thinking. I thought it stemmed from that because I think because he was the only one that didn't get mentioned, I think he thought that Shannon Sharp was really gonna ask him to be on the podcast. And since
But
that didn't happen, that's when he brought it up on the stand up.
in they
Right.
in they in they dialogue, they definitely mentioned that that Mike Epps reached out to him to be on the show.
And he was more mad that Mike Epps said that Shannon Sharp reached out to him. But that's I was like, that's the minimal of minimal of issues to have beef over. Like who reached
We,
out to who? Why does that even matter? You know who reached out to who.
we just went over this damn goalkeeper list. You know how people how people are. You know exactly how people are.
Doesn't
People,
matter at all.
grown
But yeah,
people.
like it should not have even gotten that far to All Star Weekend. You could pull up. He mad about Medea. He's talking about I got the DM. You know who lied about who reached out to who. It was getting very messy. I ain't like that.
He needs to. They need to.
I'm
They
glad
need
they
to.
solved it.
They. Oh my bad. I'm on mute.
Go ahead, Mark. You got it.
They need to come on Club Shay Shay. Like Mike Epps need to come on Club Shay Shay. That shit gonna be funny as hell.
Yeah, maybe they'll do a Club Shay Shay episode in Indy.
Hopefully that'll be dope. You know what I'm saying? Mike Epps got a lot of stuff going on. He bound the block back with his girl, with his not his girl, his wife. They bound the block back that he grew up on. They got a whole show. They fixing up cribs. It's dope. I saw a few episodes. So man, I think I hate this just to see. I hate that in our culture that we love to go run and go to we run to the internet and add that spice instead of getting on the phone like y'all end up doing at the end to like piece it up, have a conversation.
That ain't even just our culture. That's America. That's people all across the board. Like that's, and
Yeah,
I agree with you. That's one of the fucked up things about now in society. It's like people are so quick to take an issue. Even with me, like I had a situation where certain artists or certain, what I mean, individual took multiple situations where people took drama against about me or against me to the internet, and I had to snap on somebody if they talked about me on the internet. I told her, hey man, if you got an issue, call me. I said, yo, now I did what I was supposed to do. Call me. You know what I mean? And I get mad behind that type of stuff. You say my name on the internet. Shit. You come at me crazy on the internet. Shit, I got trauma behind that. We gonna fight.
I think I've learned to just stop, like because a lot of people that come behind you or try to attempt to come behind you or come for you on the internet, like it's really just them battling against themselves. It's like I feel like if your initial reaction wasn't to pick up the phone and call me with any issue or any discernment or any uneasiness that you have to say, and you want to go on somebody's platform, you want to go on the internet and talk, like you can have that. It wasn't meant for us to rock. 'Cause I'm not
I
that type.
agree. I agree.
I
You got things you need to work on.
I
Okay.
just I just hate when it's people that when I know or when they see me, they give me a different type of energy. But when they get on
That
my
too. That led to it because I'm the one that would be like, "Hello, what's T? Is you good? Like, is you cool?"
that was really gets to me because it's like I don't really care about a random saying that on the internet. I love the comments. Like I tell the team I advise the team all the time when y'all post something or when y'all do some piece of content, don't go in them comments trying to what I'm saying, going back and chatting with them people because they making their marks. Just laugh at this shit. Like I troll people all day long on the internet. I troll and laugh at some shit. You know what I'm saying?
You be wilding.
The content is out. You said what you said. This is your perspective on the piece. Let them engage how they want to engage. You can't change the way people think. You know what I'm saying?
Especially the way people think on the internet because they don't be the real self, they real
Right.
selves on the internet.
So that part I don't be caring about. What I don't care about is that what a part I care about is somebody I know. Like if I can call Mark phone. Like Mark, I know where you stay. We had conversations. We I know you. You know what I'm saying? You know me. We cool.
Yeah.
If you get on the internet and just start spazzing on me, but when you in my face, it be a whole different thing. Like me and my
Right.
like me and my brother L. Like I can speak on this. Me and L talk about it. L went on a tangent about
He definitely did.
on a top producer, and then I had this when I seen him. Like I
They
told him,
was at the bar crawl
yeah, I
next
saw
week.
him at the bar crowd. I'm like, gee, you know you was wild for that. And you know that, and we chopped it up. We had a good conversation.
Hell just be wilding on the
And
internet.
we end up kicking it. Like he the main reason why I end up having a good time that night, just kicking it with L at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But I had to let bro know, like you know you was wild as hell when you could have picked up my phone for that shit. And I texted him, man, when he in the mid rant, I texted him and he started ranting on me then. So I'm like, all right, L, I know when I see you, man, you gotta have a conversation. But that's my brother and I love him. There's always gonna be love. But that's the type of shit that it get to me because it's like, damn, you my brother. But one thing I can say about that, and that's why I respect him, even in mid emotions, how he was feeling, he didn't cop out like, yo, like my
Yeah.
bad, bro. In there, like when we text each other, he actually expressed how he was feeling.
L and G. Shout out DJ
Some
L.
people, oh man, you know that's just the internet, man. You taking it the wrong way. It ain't even nothing like that.
But here's the thing though. That internet shit has ramifications on people. Because when you, the other thing why I'm so sensitive about talking about people on the internet, we are professionals. When you talk about on the internet, you playing with people like old boy y'all was just talking about. When people talk about people on the internet, that's when you start playing with people money. And when you playing with people, and when you talking, you wilding on the internet, going crazy shit, and you playing with people money, hey, you know what I mean? Like, what's up? You know, then it's an issue. Now we gotta have a much more serious conversation. You know what I mean? Hopefully we ain't gotta get the law involved. You know what I mean? Like, that's one of the dangerous situations about people playing with people's name on the internet.
Nah, that's valid. I think one thing, like I'm a truthful person, and then God rest her soul. My mom used to bump his all the time because she was always say I'm always her kid that I'm always say how I feel. Like, and I'm gonna be truthful. And sometimes you could be truthful to somebody and it'll hurt. And I just got that down to a T. But sometimes I'm not even sometimes when I'm gonna have that conversation with you, I'm gonna have that private conversation with you, and if it's gonna hurt your feelings, not between me and you.
Right.
Don't do that shit online. You know what I'm saying? If I feel like what you doing, what you putting out to the world, or how you behaving, ain't what it is, it ain't what it is. You know what I'm saying?
And you know
It ain't
what?
what it is. I'm gonna tell you that shit,
And you
but
know what? You
I'm
got
not gonna go online and be like, oh man, such and such ain't doing this and da da da. I ain't like I said, I ain't finna fuck up your paper. Only
right.
how you gonna ever see me really speak on public on about what you got going on if I'm involved. Like I got a homie that's known for like doing bad business when it comes to like entertainment shit, and I'm not gonna do business with him. And I only told somebody about his business practices because he have a history of just not shit going right because he was involved in a business deal that I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I have to be like, all right, G, like I don't know if bro can be in this based off like what he got going on. Still my man, I still love you. You know what I'm saying? I'm always love you, but you ain't finna fuck up what I got. I'm not even gonna risk you fucking up my paper. Cause I
And one thing I do want to say is it's important to appreciate people who will pull you to the side and have a conversation with you. I think that's so taken for granted. You know, like it's always because that mean they love you. You know what I mean? To some extent, if they willing to pull you, if somebody is willing, if somebody see you fucking up, and somebody's willing to pull you to the side and have a real heart to heart conversation with you, no judgment, no bullshit. That's something to value. You know.
a lot of people don't. That's a lot of the time. That's not a thing. A lot of people gonna value because a lot of
Because a
people.
lot of people will just look at you. You know, it's a lot of people that just gonna look at you and let you fuck up and watch you crash and burn, watch you crash out, watch you make the same mistake over and over again and fuck up your life.
Yeah, and that's how you, especially in the workplace. Like you ain't gonna have too many people that's gonna come pull you to the side and be like, "Hey, G, you know the way you ever seen that episode? It's like this episode of Insecure when she tried to pull when Molly tried to pull the other the lawyer to the side and like, hey, you know the way you know what I'm saying coming off around here, you know, so you might want to watch that shit. Shorty came arguing with her like, I got this for da da da. At the end of the episode, Shorty was getting fired because the way she came off. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, or that one situation, you know what I mean? I had, you know what I mean, you know what I mean, made a little mistake in one situation and went back, cleared that up. Me and you had a conversation how I navigated a certain interview, you know what I mean? And, you know, you straighten that shit out, you know what I'm saying?
who me?
Not you. No, not you. You had told me, you know what I mean, like you had when I didn't call, you know what I mean, such and such about that little story back in the day.
Right.
You know what I mean, how I handled that situation. You know, we had a conversation on I move better, you know what I mean, so I can move better next time.
Yeah. But I think that's just I appreciate you acknowledging that, but I think that's just like a code like we got like we not might not work under the same umbrella, but we colleagues and we brothers in this shit. And like how we were just speaking on law, like we like yo law, I know you, I see what's going on with you. Like I'm gonna at least extend my hand to see what's going on so you can do better. You know what I mean? And if you accept that help from us, hopefully you do better. But yeah, it's a lot of shit. I wish people would have when I was coming up in this shit. I wish somebody would have came up and told me like, "Hey, yo, you being late to shit. Keep being late. I'm like fire your ass." Opposed to me being late, I'm getting fired, and no one really coming to the side tell me like your professionalism like this when you sign emails like this, like because a lot of the times we be raw talent in this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And just being the humility part is like one thing in me. Like I always try to learn, even if sometimes if I could be combative in the beginning, I'm always try to learn. And I'm gonna always reflect. Like that's one thing I do. If I don't do anything at the end of the day, I sit back and reflect on the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to see like, damn, okay, I was tweaking right there. All right, okay, nah, I ain't tweaking. And I sit back and try to reflect everything. So carrying over to the next day, I understand like flaws, but it took me to get old enough to do that shit. And you gotta just, I don't know, man. We just gotta make sure we looking out for the culture because a lot of things that's taught and that we go our day to day thing is not taught. Like business, how to practice, like be professional, how to go about certain things ain't taught. And also the way our culture work, of like pulling people to the side to holler at people, that's not corporate America.
Mm-hmm. Right, it ain't.
Yeah, it ain't corporate America. You're there to do a job, do your job. These is not your friends. You know what I'm saying? And you don't own that company, all that passion you be having, and why we not doing this? You not there for that. You know what I'm saying? You there for
Right,
they hired you for this. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So that's one thing we got to learn in the culture, and people like you and I, and people on staff, like it's our job to make sure when the next people coming up that we just teaching them that shit. You know what I'm saying?
right. That's real. Where Bree go?
Either her connection was out or her phone went out. I don't know,
Oh damn.
but um, this is a great show, man. Great show. We gonna end the show. How we end every show. We gonna talk about what you've been listening to. So, Mark, what you been?
That new Andre 3000 actually.
The
Fire.
flute.
Yep. I've been listening to that. Like, he performing tomorrow
Yeah.
at Garfield Park. You should listen to that. Oh, now as far as stuff that came out this year, I've been listening to the Lyrical Lemonade album. You know what I mean? That album goes stupid. You know,
Yeah.
Ben's new album. You know what I mean? That album go hard, man. Def Jam been having a good year. Uh, on the
Cole,
Chicago, huh?
Cole signed a Def Jam.
No, he ain't signed to him. They just he distribution.
He distributed through Def Jam. Okay, that's dope.
Yeah, yeah, he distributed the album through Def Jam. It's a pretty it's better than, it's a pretty solid album, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Mm.
I think one of the best that came out as far as compilation albums. You know, it really sounds like a soundtrack. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like I think the craziest song on the album is First Night. You know what I mean? That joint with Juicy J and them and Tizo Touchdown, like the way the beat flips on the song. It'll surprise you. And Benny the Butcher go crazy.
Still ain't listen to Benny album.
You gotta listen to that Benny album. That's album. That's one of the best albums of the year. Benny's new album is one of the best albums of the year thus far.
I'm gonna check out Benny. I still ain't listen to it. I still ain't listen to it.
You gotta get him up on that, man.
Um,
But as far as Chicago is concerned, I ain't really hear too much of what Chicago got going on so far.
yeah, I don't think
Where the ladies at? Shit.
I ain't really listen to no new music myself. I'm thinking only new song I've been listening to. I've been getting into Vultures. Vultures okay. I love the beat, the production on it. The
Yeah,
production on Vultures.
production was hard. Ty Dolla Sign, in my opinion, carries that whole project.
The rapping on the album could have been
The rapping was terrible.
it could have
Like,
been better. Shout out to Freddie Gibbs though. Freddie Gibbs verse go hard.
And one other thing that a lot of people, and one of the reasons why people should go back and read my story on Rolling Stone about that show is we saw an incredible moment with Bump J standing next to Kanye. I think people really got to put in context how historic that moment was 20 years after Move Around came out. You know what I'm saying? Like back in '04, you know what I'm saying? And now to see them standing on a stage next to each other after 20 years, man, and he came home in 2017. That's remarkable. I think that was one of the most important, like brightest moments in Chicago hip hop history to see those two stand next to each other like that and performing. For the fact that he's even on the album, like that was phenomenal.
I had an amazing Bum J interview when he first came home. That shit almost had 100,000 views on YouTube. That was one of my favorite interviews. Like Bump was one of my favorite people, and I think you are right. Just seeing them on the stage because Bump was a person I feel like that was doing that 10 years. I feel like he was robbed of. He was robbed, and we was robbed of actually seeing that what could have been with him.
Yeah, yeah, man. Cause he was like Bump to me was one of the last like gangster rappers, street rappers that was undisputed. You know what I mean? Was undisputably recognized as the streets champion. You know what I mean? Like whether you GD, BD, whatever it may be, it wasn't no dispute. This is our champion, Bump J. You know what I'm
I think
saying?
Bump was gonna fall into that. I think Bump falls into me. He remind me as like the Griselda, Benny the Butcher era. Like, but Bump would never be mainstream. I can never see just knowing his personality and the type of music he make. He'll never be a mainstream rapper. But it's a lane for him that like he can make that music and motherfuckers listen to it. Shit. Look like it's just me. Mark out of here too. Got connections, bad connections. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it was an amazing show. Uh Make sure y'all follow us on What's the Word on all platforms. Make sure y'all go sign up if y'all want to win some free tickets to go see Burna Boy. March 27th. Go sign up. Hold on, go back to that screen. Go back to that screen. Make sure they get it. Make sure they get it. Make sure they get it. Seconds to my sponsors. Make sure y'all go check them out. But thank y'all for tuning in today. This was an amazing show. Thanks for the special guest named Mark. Thank Cree. Thank Cindy in the background. Thank Bree. Thank the whole What's the Word staff. I'm Cody. This is What's the Word, and I'm out.